Alrighty, we're quite pleased to have back with us again, as we've had so many times before, our own Andy Reid, except this time, as you can all see, wearing different colors, as it was just announced on Monday that, in fact, Coach Andy Reid had now taken over as the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. And we appreciate you being here again with us, Andy. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Michael.
Now, listen, we talked a lot here at the Frat House, particularly last week, about the fallout and the enormous fallout there was from Black Monday last week. In fact, 7 head coaches, obviously including yourself, were relieved of their duties. However, you, within 4 days, were able to turn it around and get yourself a new position. In fact, you're the only one of all of those 7 that have been able to do it, and do it as quickly as you did. And I got to tell you, that's pretty impressive. And I got to ask, how did that happen?
Well, Mike, I'm humble. It's you got to be humble in these kind of things. It was a good run in Philly, and it didn't work out the way we wanted. That's on me as coach. So now we're looking at Kansas City now. And, I've got some familiarity with Kansas City. I used to recruit for the University of Missouri from Columbia in Kansas City. So, it's a good fit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, now, listen, it's obvious that they've welcomed you with open arms, because you've been on quite the welcome wagon here, over in Kansas City. Front page headlines were screaming, "Hail to the Chief." T-shirts were showing up in stores. Reid to lead. There was a lot of speculation prior to the KC announcement that perhaps maybe you might have ended up in Arizona, you could have gone to San Diego. But you never actually even met with either one of them. In fact, you canceled both those interviews. Now, I got a twofold question for you here. As you went through that process, first of all, why did you only meet with KC? How come not the other 2? Wouldn't you just want to go and listen to what everybody else had to say? And then the second question I have, I guess, for you, it really regards the Philadelphia fan base, who many of them felt kind of jilted about the fact that, well, you never really addressed them before you left.
Well, Mike, have you ever been to Kansas City? Have you ever tried some of their ribs?
No, I can't say I have.
Those ribs are to die for out there, Michael. And, 9 hours of eating ribs, and it was a done deal at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't need to go to Arizona or out to San Diego, or, just stay with the ribs in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. How about the fact that the Philadelphia fan base felt a little bit kind of left behind?
Well, Mike, things happen so quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, as you alluded to in your first question. 4 days, and hey, I'm a head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
And, so I really haven't had a chance to really address stuff with, the fan base in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
It was, off to, I fired Monday and then off to interviews and.
And landed the job within 4 days. Absolutely amazing. Now, interestingly, Chiefs General Manager Scott Pioli, he was part of the 9-hour interview that you just alluded to. And I'm assuming perhaps maybe he even picked up the check for all those ribs. And he was obviously part of the process in ultimately hiring. However, the very next day after it was announced that you were probably coming to KC, Scott Pioli is fired. Now, many had thought that the timing was kind of a bit odd. Can you address some of that?
Well, that's a fragile position, man. You know?
Yeah.
And, I'm not really going to get into all that. This isn't the time to get into that.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. Listen, Andy, you had 14 years in Philadelphia to win the big one. And obviously, your goal in KC, I mean, it'd be the goal of any new head coach. Your goal in KC would be to do exactly that, win them the big one. Why do you think you're going to be able to do it there, but after 14 years in Philadelphia, you weren't able to get it done there?
Well, Mike, it's, out Arrowhead, it's the kingdom. It's red. I love red. I had red hair, Mike.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, I think we can turn this around and, you know, we can get the big one and then we can go have some ribs afterwards.
Absolutely. Well, listen, from all of us here at the Frat House, we appreciate all of the appearances you've made on our program here over the past, almost year and a half. And you know, we wish you the best of luck there in Kansas City. All right?
Thanks, Mike. And
right.
when I win the big one, I'll come back on the show.
You got it. You got it. We look forward to it. Thanks so much.